This is a CBS News special report. I'm John Dickerson in New York. The last living American hostage held by Hamas has been released and is now headed back to Israel. Israeli-American Edan Alexander was freed after a deal between Hamas and the United States. Alexander had been held in Gaza since the October 7th attack in 2023. That's 584 days. And people have gathered in Iran's hometown of Tenafly, New Jersey. Foreign correspondent MTS Tayeb has been following the release today. MTS?
John, well, we have a very dynamic situation unfolding. As you say, Edan Alexander has been released from Hamas custody. He was handed over to the Red Cross, and we believe he is on his way into Israel or is potentially already in Israel. As we've been saying, this caps off a 17-month ordeal, which began on October 7th when Hamas carried out that devastating assault across southern Israel in which 1,200 people were killed, 250 people were taken hostage, including the 21-year-old who was born in New Jersey and was serving with the Israeli military. And then he was, of course, as we've been saying, taken into Gaza, where over the last 17 months or so, we have seen two videos of him, propaganda videos, for lack of a better phrase, in which he appeared to be in reasonable health. But as we know, his mother and family have been carrying out this extraordinary campaign to try to release their son and the remaining hostages in Gaza. And one would imagine very soon now he will be in the arms of his family. John.
Extraordinary. MTS, any other news on how this came about? U.S. officials were obviously involved. Any other reporting on how this happened?
Yeah, so let me just read to you a post on Truth Social, President Trump's social media website, where he said this was a step taken in good faith towards the U.S. and the efforts of the mediators, Qatar and Egypt, to put an end to this very brutal war and return all living hostages and remains to their loved ones. Now, we understand that this was the result of direct four-way talks, which led to the release, again, with countries like the U.S., Qatar, Egypt, and Hamas. Now, we do understand that the U.S. has previously held similar talks with Hamas, but this is a very significant one. It's being described by Hamas as a goodwill gesture. As we know, President Trump will be traveling to the Middle East. He'll be visiting Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. But interestingly, he will not be visiting Israel. Whatever the case, we have heard from the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the past several hours, where he said that this attempt to essentially put a pause to the fighting or look for some sort of meaningful ceasefire is not something they will be pursuing. He said that Israel is continued to committing what he describes as all war objectives, and that will be under fire. So for the crisis that we've been seeing in Gaza, which of course has inflicted so much damage across the Palestinian territory and the loss of so much life, at least according to the Israelis, that continues. But there is some hopeful signs that these negotiations will continue. We also understand that Prime Minister Netanyahu has asked for a delegation to be sent to one of the mediating countries in order for those talks to carry on. But John, as we've been saying, you can see those images now of supporters of Edan's family with those Israeli flags, many of them breathing a sigh of relief, but very sad for the dozens of hostages who still remain in Gaza.
MTS Tayeb in London reporting on the release of Edan Alexander, 21-year-old, the last known living U.S. hostage. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news, and tonight on the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm John Dickerson in New York.